Okay, guys, we are going to talk today. We're still talking geometric from yesterday, but we're going to talk about the sums of geometric, right? You will get these formulas. The sum of arithmetic was this one, n over 2 times a sub 1 plus a sub n. You guys are going to get that, right? That's the arithmetic sum formula. Now we're going to talk about geometric sums. There's two of them, because we have two kinds of geometric sequences. We have a finite. What does the word finite mean? That ends. There's an ending. 8.2, part 2. You have a sequence that ends, and then we're going to talk about one that is infinite. You'll be able to tell the difference. But look at this formula. Okay, this is, again, this will be given to you. So let's talk about this. What is a sub 1? It's the first term, okay. What is n? It's the number of terms. And then r, in both cases, is your common ratio, right? Okay, so you're going to be given this formula right here. If you want to take a picture of it and just set it next to your, excuse me, if you want to set it next to the problem, that's fine. Now, I look at this, and then I look at, is there another example here? I look at down here. Do you see the difference? Look at this top, your upper limit. What sign is that? Infinity. How can you know that something is an infinite sequence? There's the infinity thing. Do you see here that there is a starting point and a stopping point, right? What this is saying is this is the sum. This happens to be a geometric because it's raised to an exponent. It doesn't have a plus. It's not a linear function. But that doesn't matter. You guys just understand, oh, this is a geometric, so I use one formula versus the other. But the way that you do it is it's still the same. You start with 1 and then go with what? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on, all the way up to what? 12. Now, you could do it that way, or we can just use the formula, which is what we're going to do. So there's a couple things we need to identify. If my formula is a sub 1 times 1 minus r to the n over 1 minus r, right? There's three things I need to know. I need to know my first term. I need to know how many terms I'm talking about, and I need to know the common ratio. Does everybody agree? Okay, so how do I know how many terms I'm talking about? Well, I told you a little hint. Yes, when it starts with 1, it's always the top number. But what did I tell you to do? Top minus bottom, what? Plus 1. What's 12 minus 1? What's 12 minus 1? Plus 1 is 12. So we're talking about 12 terms total. How do you figure out the first term? By plugging in what? Why are we plugging in 1?
Because you need a of 1.
And it tells you, but it tells you to start with what number? 1. If it said start with n equals 3, then you would plug in 3. That would be the first term. So I'm going to plug in 1. So when I plug in 1 here, guys, I have 4 times 0.3 to the first power. You guys agree? Mm-hmm. If you want to go ahead and multiply that in your calculator, go ahead. What's 4 times 0.3? 1.2. Okay. Now, can you just look at this and identify the common ratio?
Yes.
Yeah, what is it? No, what's the common ratio? 0.3. So now what do we do with all that stuff? You plug it in the formula. What? Because it's whatever's in the parentheses, your common ratio. So your first term, you guys just told me, was 1.2. Now I'm going to plug this in the formula. It's 1 minus your common ratio of 0.3 to the n power, to the number of terms. How many terms do we have? 12 over 1 minus 0.3. Now, the pre-calc stuff is done. Now this is you guys using a calculator. This is where we got to practice a little bit. What should you start with? Parentheses. And inside the parentheses, what should you start with? The exponent. If I were you, I would do 1 minus 0.3 to the 12th power. And then hit enter. And then don't clear it. Then hit divided by parenthesis 1 minus 0.3. Close your parenthesis. Enter. and then times 1.2. What do you guys get? Perfect. We'll say 1.7. Perfect. All right, that's you guys knowing how to use your calculator. That's important. All right, now notice, guys, this problem started as a decimal. So what was our answer as? A decimal. Okay, what is the next one? It starts as a what? A fraction, so our answer needs to be in a fraction, okay? I know that this is a finite. How do I know this is a finite? I have a starting point and a stopping point, an ending point. So the three things you're going to need is the first term, the number of terms, and your common ratio. What's your common ratio in this one? -1/2, good. How many terms do you have? 16 minus 3 plus 1. Yep, 14. You have to do that little formula, guys, because if not, you have to remember, when you're figuring out how many, you can't just say 16 minus 3, there's 13, because there's not. You're including 16 and you're including 3, your starting point and your ending point. So if you use this top minus bottom plus 1, every time you get it right. How do I figure out what a sub 1 is? You plug in. What do I plug in? Perfect. To find the first term, you don't always plug in 1. You plug in whatever number they're telling you to start with. So this would be 5 times -1/2 to the 3 minus 1. Now, guys, this is in fraction form, correct? It needs to stay in fraction form. So when we simplify this, now this becomes our math and we have a calculator. What's 3 minus 1? 2. Okay, so what do I do with this 2? Square top and bottom, so this becomes 5 times, God bless, 1/4. So what is your first term? 5/4. Now, the rest of this, guys, is just computation. God bless you. You're going to have to get a common denominator and all that good stuff, but let's watch. My formula is a sub 1, so my first term is 5/4. Then I have 1 minus your common ratio is -1/2, and then how many terms do I have? So to the 14th power over 1 minus -1/2. Now we're going to go through this kind of quickly, but I want you guys to pay attention. This is where you'll make a mistake, and this has nothing to do with pre-calc. Nothing. This is just computation. On the bottom you can. I'm glad you just said that. AJ just made a good point. In the numerator it says minus a -1/2, but what do you have to evaluate first? The exponent. So this is 5/4 on the outside. Now guys, you have to keep it as a fraction. So it's 1 minus, when I take 14 and I distribute to the top and bottom, I have 1 over. What is 2 to the 14th power? 16384. Okay. And then on the bottom, AJ, can I just say plus a negative? Makes it a plus? Perfect. So this would be 1 plus 1/2. All right. Now you guys can simplify wherever you need to here. Understand, in your numerator, you have two fractions. When you are adding or subtracting fractions, guys, what do you need? What do you need when you're adding or subtracting fractions? A common denominator. So this is 1 over 16,384, correct? And I have the whole number 1. How can I change the whole number 1 into 16,384ths? There you go, 16,384 over what? 16,384. Yes, it's a big number, but it doesn't matter. It's just over itself, not a big deal. And then what can I simplify the bottom to? 2 over 2 plus 1 over 2 is? Okay, 3 over 2. Good. I can change this to 2 over 2. Okay, so let's keep simplifying. I have 5/4 times, what's 16,384 minus 1? 16,383, good, over 16,384, perfect, divided by 3 over 2. Hang on. Can we simplify anything? Can we simplify anything? You guys have a calculator, so don't freak out. If you can't simplify, cross cancel, just multiply across. What's 5 times 16,383? Just multiplying right here. 409575.
No, this is 8191.
16383. Oh, I did times 25, my bad. Thank you. 81915. I hit 5 twice, I'm sorry. 81915. Okay. Yes, because it started off as a fraction. I just made these numbers up, so that's why it's weird. So now 4 times 16384. 65536. Divided by what? 3 over 2? Now I know you're like, what? Guys, does 2 go into your numerator? No. Does 3? 8 plus 1 is 9, 9 is 18, plus 1 is, huh? No, you don't. You could just, don't answer it and then just get points off. It's fine. So guys, I have a fraction divided by a fraction, correct? Okay, if you can simplify it within here, do it. But if not, keep, change, what? Flip. So I have 81915 over 65536. I times it by what? 2 over 3. Now I know 2 is going to go into my denominator. How do I know that? Because it ends in a 6. So 65536 divided by 2. This is 1. This becomes 32768. Okay. Add up the digits of the numerator. 8 plus 1 plus 9 plus 1 plus 5 is 24. Does 3 go into 24? 3 goes into 24, so that means 3 will go into that top one. So 81915 divided by 3. And you get 27305. So I have 27305 divided by 32768. I know 2 doesn't go in there. Some of you have calculators that you put that in, it'll just simplify the fraction. Does 3 go in there? 2 plus 7 plus 3 plus 5. 17, no. 4, no. So there you go. Now, the hardest part of that was not figuring out how many terms there were. Not figuring out where the first term was. It was, do you know how to simplify computational-wise with a calculator? I don't want to hear that that's too much. What? No, AJ, what?
I tried to do it where it would change it to the fractions and it gave me 8333 over 11.
Because it's just going to give you, then that means you have to do it by hand, like we just did. AJ, it's just basic computation. You're all right. All right, let's look at the next one. We're going to talk about the sum of an infinite. What is the word infinite? This is really simple. What does the word infinite mean? It never ends. It's ongoing. How do you know this is infinite? 2 ways. 1, it's written with sigma notation, so you have the infinity sign on top, right? You guys understand? Or secondly, how you would know is you have a sequence of numbers and then it goes like this at the end, has the ellipses, dot, dot, dot. That means it goes on forever. Look at this formula. What are the 2 things you need? First term and what? What do you need here? First term and? The common ratio. That's it. This is a much easier formula to deal with. The only 2 things you need are the first term and the common ratio. So a couple of problems right here. First of all, look at this. I know it's the sum because it has that funny sigma notation. And which formula am I going to use? Is this arithmetic or is this geometric? You know it's geometric because you have a variable in the exponent. Is this finite or is it infinite? Infinite because it's got the infinity sign. So the only things you need are the first term and your R value. How do I figure out what the first term is? Plugging in 0. Why am I starting with 0? Because it says, hey, start with 0. So I'm going to say 4 times 0.6 to the 0 power. What's anything to the 0 power? 1. So 4 times 1 is? 4. Okay. Your first term is 4. What is your common ratio? 0.6. So now the formula that is given to you, you will now use. So it's 4 over 1 minus 0.6. My answer should be in what kind of a form? A decimal, because I have decimals in my answer, in my problem. That's fine. So I have 4 over, what's 1 minus 0.6? 0.4. Yes. And then what's 4 divided by 0.4? Yep. So that's it, 10. Look at the next one. It's not in sigma notation, but how do I know this is an infinite? Because of the ellipses. Good. So I need the two things. I need the first term, and I need my common ratio. Well, what's the first term that you see, guys? 3. How do you figure out what the common ratio is? What did we do yesterday? We took one term and did what? Divide by the one in front of it. So 0.3 divided by 3. What's 0.3? Everybody with me? 0.3 divided by 3. And I get 0.1. So here, my formula is a sub 1 over 1 minus r. So my first term is 3 over 1 minus 0.1, right? So I have 3 over 0.9. So what's 3 divided by 0.9? What'd you guys get? Throw it in your calculator. It's a decimal, so go ahead. 3 point what? Yep, 3.33. That's fine. If you have decimals in your problem, decimals in your answer is perfectly acceptable. All right, let's do the last one. Again, this is in sigma notation. It's got the Greek letter. I'm starting off with a fraction, so that means my answer should be in what kind of a form? A fraction. Is this infinite or is this geometric? Is this geometric or arithmetic? Geometric, because I have an exponent that has a variable. And is it infinite or is it finite? Infinite, because I got my infinity up here. So there's only two things I need, guys. I need the first term and I need my common ratio. What's your common ratio? 1/3, good. How do you figure out what the first term is? You're going to plug in 1. So I have 6 times 1/3 to the 1 minus 1. Well, what happens with 1 minus 1? It's 0. What's anything to the 0 power? So what's your first term? That's it, guys. So you have 6 over 1 minus 1/3. Again, we're in fraction form, so don't put that in your calculator. How can I simplify the bottom? What can I change 1 to? 3 over 3. So this gives you 6 over 2/3. Perfect. Keep, change, flip. What do you guys get? Yes. But think about it. It's really easy to figure out. Like when you're looking at these, there's a couple things that give you indications of whether it's arithmetic or geometric. A geometric has an exponent that is a variable. And then you know the difference between finite and infinite because infinite has the infinity sign on it. The finite one has a number at the top. But you will be given both those formulas.